Welcome back.
We're back.
And of course, my dogs start barking right away.
They do. They're doing the damn thing. We're back. And if
We're back and better than ever.
You probably didn't even know, but we usually rough. Do you want to do something with your dogs? Okay, welcome back. We're back.
We are back.
We told you all that we were just not going to have a weekend episode because I was at a wedding and I almost died at the wedding, but I am alive, guys.
She is here.
If you follow me on social media, you will know that I basically collapsed in the airport. Having a gluten allergy, guys, is so hard. Okay, I have celiac disease, and when I go to events like this, where I obviously am out of town and expected to find food, it is already hard for me. But in the South, and I'm from the South, okay? We were in Kentucky. It's always extra hard. They just even at breakfast yesterday, the only things on the table were quiches and things. The only thing I had yesterday, probably in 2 days, I had some popcorn, 2 pieces of bacon and some fruit. Okay. So I was very dehydrated, and I'm used to carrying a big old water bottle with me everywhere, a big tumbler. And I didn't have that I don't have that when I'm out of town. I didn't have my food that I usually eat.
And it was a wedding, and there's alcohol at a wedding, and alcohol already makes you dehydrated on
high
top
alcohol,
of you not having
low water, low food. I literally did not eat. I think the last real meal I had was on Friday night at the rehearsal dinner when they luckily had mashed potatoes and things. But yeah, my body shut down, and I also get really car sick. And so we had been in Ubers all day, going back to a wedding brunch and all the things. And
your
then
body
I lost
said
feeling.
No more, ma'am.
No, my body shut down. I lost feeling in my hands. I lost feeling in my feet. It was very scary because I've passed out before, and this wasn't anything that I had felt like before. And then my jaw started getting numb. And tingly. That's and my shoulders. Yeah, it was very scary. They took my blood sugar and all my vitals, and I was fine. And they were like, "Do you want an ambulance?" I was like, "I don't even care if I was bleeding out and my guts were on the floor. I don't want
me home, bestie.
I don't want the receipt for that ambulance ride. If you take me in an ambulance right now, drop me off at the morgue because I'm not going." So yeah, I was fine. I got wheeled, as embarrassing as that is, to the airplane, and then I really wanted to go to the game last night.
I would be princess waving to everyone I was being wheeled by.
No, I felt like a loser for sure.
No, I feel that. I would be mortified.
And I really wanted to go to the game last night because I told some of y'all, but I am a Gold Star sister. And so my brother was in the military. So happy Veterans Day. Both my grandpas. Yeah, both my grandpas were in the military, and my brother served in Afghanistan in the Army. He was 82nd Airborne, which is really, if you were in the military, which I know we have a lot of veteran followers.
We do.
Then you'll know that was kind of a big deal in the day. So
my uncle that recently passed away this summer, he was a Purple Heart recipient. That looks like it.
It looks like it should be alcohol, but it's water. I love that though. I didn't know that, Caitlin.
Yeah, he was, man, he did a lot in the military. He received tons of accolades. He was in battle, one of those guys. He saved several people's lives. He was wounded in war and everything like that. He was a Purple Heart recipient, and then he got 100% disability and was honorably discharged. And that's
what happened to my brother.
Great dude. Yeah,
that's why several reasons. Caitlin and I love mental health. We have so many avenues that we've both been connected to mental health. But my brother had 2 severe TBIs in the military, so that's why I'm a big protect your noggin girl, which we usually talk more about NFL, a lot more contact.
We do. We talk a lot about it in the NFL.
Yeah, protect your bodies, and that just made me think. We don't usually film and post on Monday, but Sunday was so insane. I called Caitlin. I was like, "Wait, we didn't do a weekend. Why don't we film tomorrow because I'm off and I can kind of cater to you?" And she was like, "Yeah." And it was so worth
we'll be together on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Exactly. So we can do our episodes together later this week, which will be great.
I'm home for 2 days and then I'm off. But yeah, it's gonna be so good. Just speaking of injuries, because I feel really bad. Chet Holmgren.
Should we start there?
Yeah, let's.
Okay, because I was gonna say I know. I'm so sad for him. I was going to say, and you can tell me what you think about this. I feel like there were 3 big games yesterday. There was the Nuggets Mavs, the Warriors OKC, and then the Kings Suns. And they were all 3 fantastic games. And I think that they were 3 games who featured 6 teams that will likely be in the top 8 in the playoffs. And so I definitely just kind of wanted to highlight that because they were all really great, really competitive games. And I think it does just show that
we have to talk about the Sunday slate because this is a perfect. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We are going to get into the game after we do, of course, because we always forget to do sexy sports. I feel like it's a good way to start the video. But yeah, Chet came down straight down on his hip. I didn't understand what happened because I, of course, was so locked into the Nuggets game, and I just heard what happened, and I texted Caitlin, and I was like, "What the heck?" And she told me exactly what happened. How he literally was horizontal.
Here's the floor. Yep, I was gonna say, here's the floor. Here is him. Literally. And if you know Chet, you know how skinny and tiny he is.
If you watch
I literally
NBA,
said, I literally said it was bone to floor, like his hip directly to the floor.
So scary. And I think
unfortunately, it's a hip fracture and he's out 8 to 10 weeks. I feel awful. And before we get into sexy sports though, he's such a good sport. And I want to shout him out for that because he tweeted.
Oh, I was going to say he tweeted from the hospital.
Yes. So the whole play, the play was not like a dirty play at all. It was just a very unfortunate play. Andrew Wiggins drove to the basket. Yes, Andrew Wiggins drove to the basket and went up for a layup. And as he went up to put the ball in, Chet, as a defender would do, went up with him. And just like the way that their bodies hit, he just turned his body and went straight down to the floor. But he tweeted after, and he, with pictures or a video from the play, and said, "I can't believe this MFer still made the lay. What the F? I'm pissed." Talking about Andrew Wiggins still making the basket after he broke his hip.
He also tweeted, I thought you were talking about, it was really sad because he was like, tweets from the hospital bed. Yeah. And he was just saying, on one hand, I've been through an injury like this. So it's good to know that, there is another side. I just, it's devastating. It's devastating for OKC. There's so many injuries around the league
especially
right
because
now.
They don't have their 2 centers right now. And now they just lost their 3rd center.
And he's been playing so well too. We talked about him last episode, just saying in the Nuggets game, it wasn't his best game. But besides that, that was an outlier. He has been playing incredibly this season.
And he still played well in the second half of the Nuggets game. And he's just you're the center on, arguably one of the best teams in the league. And, you're technically it's your sophomore season, even though he was drafted 3 years ago because he did have that injury that he was out for the full first season. So yeah, it's devastating. I'm glad that it is only 8 to 10 weeks at this point. Yeah. Because there are obviously season-ending injuries, career-ending injuries. I'm excited for him to come back. I hope he comes back better than ever. He deserves that. OKC
Caitlin and I always say, we never root for injuries. Even everyone knows how competitive I am during basketball season. But I want everyone there, okay? Because I don't want anyone to have a stupid excuse we would have done this if so-and-so was there. So I am all for every single person playing so that we don't have any excuses. Okay, I want everyone healthy all the time.
And there's just nothing better than having fully healthy teams play each other, the competitiveness that brings, the physicality. Yes, the competition is just so good, and that's how it should be. So I'm obviously hoping for him to come back healthy, and hopefully it's closer to that 8-week mark and not the 10-week mark.
Amen. Okay, so we're gonna move on to sexy sports, everybody.
Sexy sports. So cool. And then we'll get into those games.
We'll be right back. Okay, this is a clip of
This
Caitlin's
is from the
Wizards.
Washington Wizards and the Orlando Magic game. You have Bilal Coulibaly, who is in his sophomore year. He had a pretty quiet rookie year, but has come out this year and has absolutely dominated, becoming a comfortable second option. Yes, he has become a comfortable second option for this Wizards team. And yes, the Wizards are not fantastic, but if you just literally watch him play basketball, he is doing incredible things against incredible competition. And it's just so amazing to watch. There's nothing I love better than like rebuilding teams or young guys and just getting to watch them grow and progress. But this is a play where he goes up against a rookie, De Silva, on the Magic, and he just posterizes him, and it's so beautiful. I just love it so much. I love big plays from young guys. It's so good.
Nice cross by Bilal. Disturbing the piece and then mean mugging the rookie.
And he look at that face. I'm like, he's confident.
Disturbing the piece and then mean mugging the rookie.
This is like one of my favorite plays, and it just shows like just like the general like I don't know like IQ and athleticism and like understanding of the game for Jokic.
And
it's so beautiful.
We'll talk about this more during the game, but I've been talking about how the young guys, I'm glad they're getting a lot more minutes right now, especially with AG out and like Jamal's been out. Because again, they've got to learn how quick Yoke is. Okay. Like you have to always be prepared. I always like say like you have to have sticky hands because you never know when he's going to throw a no look pass. And of course our starters have played together so long, like that core, they're pretty much used to him doing crazy shit like
I
that.
understand that.
And the more you watch these games, the boys are like getting better in it.
Totally.
It's making me so happy.
They're more prepared for Nikola Jokic basketball. And if you're prepared for Nikola Jokic basketball on his team, then the Nuggets
everyone's happy.
Yes. Yep.
So
they're
this,
incredible.
this pass is going to go, which I love unselfish basketball. It's going to go to CB. It's going to go to Yoke. Yoke is going to do a one-hand little no look, and Julian's coming in. So there it goes. This is a really quick play. In layup. Easy play. I want to watch it one more time. From CD to Yoke. Like, look at Jokic, by the way.
CB's
Just
on the
one
corner.
hand.
Yes. That's the best part
And
is
then-
he has a hand out like on the defender to keep the defender away
Yeah.
and then puts his arm up to catch the ball and then just turns and makes a perfect pass like within a second, less than a second.
And we're going to talk about this in the game, but I am so obsessed with how well the young guys have been doing at cutting. And you see Julian Strother recognize that he's turning. He starts to go, and then it's too late for the Mavs guy to come. Sorry, bestie. Wrong one.
Hey.
Switches back. So yeah. So
It
that was
so
Sexy Sports.
good.
Should we, do you want to talk about OKC Warriors? It happened before the Nuggets game, so.
I would love to. This was such a good game, and I know like people are gonna say like obviously they had guys out. I'm never going to discount the fact that a team does have important players out. Of course, that absolutely impacts it. But the Warriors
A team that good
play,
though, like you still have so many good pieces. And
yes,
again,
you're
people
a
were
very deep team.
people were saying that yesterday. Yeah. And
Yes.
Nuggets, like we had like AG and Jamal out and we beat the Thunder. Okay. And I know they're missing Hartenstein, but he hasn't even really played for them yet. So like I wouldn't say he's a factor into how good they are because like I'm kind of basing it off
They
on the
haven't
team
even
they've had
really
last
played
year.
with him yet. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I just wanted to say that yes, when you have injuries, but you have like when you're still winning big games, like the Nuggets did against the Thunder without AG and Jamal, same thing. So I'm like, I don't like that excuse all the time, and I want y'all to put some respect on the Warriors' name. Continue, Caitlin.
Period. Okay. Sorry, that was my triple chin was getting a little excited there. But it was such a good game, and I'm really proud because like I kept saying the Warriors played so well in preseason, and I just like a lot of the times you can play really well in preseason, or you can be like the Nuggets who win a single preseason game and play like shit, but then are now really
And
figuring
look like
it out
shit
and
for the
look
first few
incredible.
games.
Exactly. You know, like it just depends. But a lot of the times preseason can be a fluke. And I kept being like, please don't be a fluke. Please don't be a fluke. They look so good.
They look so dominant. Yeah.
Yes. And they still look incredible. The Warriors are now 8-2. They defeated OKC yesterday. As the Warriors do when they have a 27-point lead or whatever, they did shave it down and only win by 11. But that is beside the point, okay? Listen, either way, Warriors were incredible yesterday.
But
They
still
played
win.
their brand of basketball. Yes, exactly. They played their brand of basketball. And if you don't know, their brand of basketball is literally just like a very free flowing offense where they literally just move off of each other and they read the offense and they recognize weaknesses on defense. They're really good about cutting when they see a weak man down by the basket. They're really good about, filling those spots in and, cutting out and setting screens and, making passes when someone is cutting and is open. Like they just understand each other. It's all very free. They don't really run plays unless they need to run plays. Like unless it's like a situation where they're down 3 and they have 10 seconds left. They're not
or
really
like
big
an ATO.
play
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. They're not really big about that kind of stuff. And so they've just been playing it so well. The guys that they got have just been adding so much to this team. They're vets that understand the game, but can also like be out there and perform and, provide offensively and provide defensively. But I think the big thing that I want to mention about this Warriors team is that Steve Kerr's coaching has improved tremendously. And I don't know if it's because of the coaches that he hung around in Olympic basketball over the summer. I'm not sure if like maybe they kind of like, talked to each other and learned off of each other and everything like that. But the last couple of years, I feel like Steve Kerr has like just stopped coaching and just been like, I have Steph Curry. Like, why can't I win?
He reminds me of like you can't teach an old dog new tricks type of thing.
Yes.
He's like,
Totally.
This is what I've done. I've gotten my
And I'm
team
going to
4
continue
rings.
doing it.
We're
Yep.
just going to stick with that. Also, pause. This
Yes.
is not any hate to Steve Kerr, but am I the only one that thinks he looks like Snow Miser?
No, he totally does.
Okay.
No, that's
You guys
so
know who I'm
valid.
talking about? Okay. Or a White Walker.
I like how you say, you guys know who I'm talking about? And I'm like, yes, I do. Me, I'm you guys.
Yes,
It's me.
we do. We say yes. So sorry.
All of
but
us. No, you're totally fine. But he's
I live
he's
for
gotten,
chaotic interruptions.
honestly, same. He's just gotten so much better. Like yesterday, first of all, they did not play Looney a single minute yesterday, and a lot of that was because they were preparing to only have Chet be their only center, and then other than that, play small ball. And so Steve Kerr had a starting lineup, which I was like, this is the most random shit in the world, but it worked really well. It was Steph Curry, DeAnthony Melton, which I was like, what? He started DeAnthony Melton because he's like our best defender to go directly onto J-Dub and have Steph be on Shea like always and stuff like that. And then he started TJD, so Trace Jackson Davis, because he's our tallest guy on the team, 6'10" or 6'9" or whatever. And so he was on Chet when they started. Literally, when Chet got hurt, TJD did not play another minute of the game. Like he was that strategic about it. And which is nice because, he does have that 12-man lineup that he can just like throw in whoever whenever he needs.
Yeah.
And that obviously worked really well for him. DeAnthony Melton played so well on J-Dub. It is very hard to guard J-Dub or Shea.
Because J-Dub also like Shea's really skinny, but J-Dub has some meat to him. You know what I mean? Like
strong. Yes,
he's strong. He's got some
fast.
mass. Like I'm not calling him fat, but like he's thick. I don't even know how to say it. Like
he's a much more muscular built guy.
But he's not even like, to me, like AG on the Nuggets. Like he's an example of a guy that is all pure muscle and like
Totally.
built. And then J-Dub's just a little thicker. So like you don't want your skinniest dude on him.
No, absolutely not. And that's like DeAnthony Melton is like a pretty not pretty skinny.
He's sturdy
pretty,
too. I love that word.
I was gonna say a pretty sturdy. He is. He's built and he's fast and he's athletic and he's a fantastic defender. That's literally why we picked him up, is just for his defense, because we needed that extra boost of defense. DeAnthony Melton had 19 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals in the game. So he did just like
That's incredible.
exactly what we needed to do. Yes. I mean, like being in there, being a guard and being able to grab 10 rebounds is incredible. The Warriors are actually currently the number 1 team in rebounds. Yes, exactly. And that's what I always say. So the Warriors are the smallest team in the league, and they are number 1 in rebounds.
Yeah, you have to make it. That
is effort.
So impressive. You have to make a subconscious effort in that aspect. That's what I love. Like even when our small, like when Julian Strother gets like a few rebounds, I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Even like because he's just like our skinny fast guy, like you think.
Yes, and everyone wondered why everyone was hyping up Pods last season and everything like that. And I'm like, that's because Pods was literally the number one guard in rebounds in the entire league, and he's like this young little rookie, and he's sitting there jumping in on all these on freaking AD and LeBron, and he's grabbing rebounds over them. Like, that's impressive. But either way, so like I said, Steve Kerr, tons of just like strategic moves, and he played the mind game really, really, really well against OKC. Obviously, it helped having everyone on our team shooting really well. That's obviously helpful. But one thing that I wanted to note about this game is that obviously we have Steph Curry. You and I always talk about, if you have Steph Curry or if you have Nikola Jokic, your team always has a chance to win, because those are the types of players
and win a ring.
Yes, those are the types of players that can take over and win a game themselves if they need to. And not that that's what Steph did, because everyone played amazing on this. But I just want to say Shea only had 24 points, and 12 of his 24 points were from free throws. Steph Curry had 36 points, and only 3 of his 36 points were from free throws. Steph Curry is very much so like Nikola Jokic in the fact that they do not get calls. Neither of them get calls, and they're the guys that play really good, efficient, ethical basketball. And I really, really love to see it. And I love stats like that, because yes, Shea's fantastic at basketball, but I'm sorry, if you wouldn't have had those free throws, like if you would have only had 3 instead of 12, you would have literally had 15 points in the game.
Who's a grifter and who's not. Like, Shea is literally going to do whatever he can to get to the free throw line. Yeah. And it's every time, and it's so annoying.
I always say
as a fan of another team.
Exactly. Every contact is not a foul. All contact is not a foul. There is incidental contact. There is legal contact. Not every time you get touched or like sneezed on is a foul.
I think one of my favorite things about Steph Curry is how he makes teams crash out. And what I mean by that is, like, you can take a look at like plenty of guys in the league. Like, when they get hot, you're terrified. We'll talk about it in the Nuggets Mavs game. Kyrie Irving, you don't want him making everything. Luka, you don't want. But Steph Curry, of course, is one of the greatest of all time. I used to fight with people.
He is the greatest shooter of all time. Yes,
the greatest shooter of all time.
That. Yep.
And when that man starts making a couple threes, it's scary. And when I tell you, it was so funny, because like, it's like they lose all sense of like how to play the game, and they just start like freaking the F out.
Everyone just starts like doubling him, like
they're
10
like
feet
jumping
off
on him,
the
and they're like,
line.
Don't let him shoot.
Which Steph Curry loves, though, because Steph Curry also had 7 assists, because when they start doubling him, all you're doing is leaving someone else open. And we now have Buddy Hield on our team. We have freaking Andrew Wiggins, who played amazing. We have Jonathan Kuminga, who can sit by the basket and jump over your head.
Not that I'm gonna like beat a dead horse, but I will. Buddy Hield coming from the Pacers, like, that was so obviously going to be a good fit in my opinion for the Warriors, because they're both similarly high offense teams. Yeah, like, it's very obvious, and like we'll kind of get into it, that like some players, they were great, but like that's not their team. And I feel that way about like football, like people, like just the way they run their offense, like teams play differently. That's why if every team played the same, like it wouldn't, the game would be boring. So I just think
that's why trades are so important.
Buddy Hield was an excellent addition. He's playing wonderful.
He had a slow game, but he didn't play a lot of minutes. And that's because when Steph Curry, Jonathan Kuminga, and Andrew Wiggins are all going off, you don't need Buddy Hield to be shooting. He's like that kind of guy that, like, if Steph's having a bad night, he's the guy that can step up and have the high shot volume.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Me too.
it.
So, but I just I appreciate, and I hope that I get to one day tell all you not losers, I'm sorry, that was mean, all you haters on social media that I was right about the Warriors and you were wrong, because they look amazing. People said that they literally were going to barely be a play-in team, and
Yeah,
obviously
I'm
that
so
can still
sick of y'all.
happen. Yes, and obviously that can happen.
I know
okay?
we're early,
Like,
but
of course
they're better. They're better. You guys have to admit they're better than you thought they were going to be.
They are the third team in the league in assists per game. The Nuggets are number one. Thank you, Nikola Jokic.
Period.
And they are number one in rebounds per game. Like, not only is there effort there, they all want it. And
Yeah.
they are a unselfish team.
And Steph looks
is
like he's
incredibly deep.
2022 Steph. Or,
No,
you know,
literally,
any
I'm
year
not even.
Steph,
And
'cause he doesn't
and
age.
we'll talk about this exactly. We'll talk about this when we get to the whatever it's called, the Knicks game. But the highest amount of minutes that anyone on this team has played this season is 36 minutes, and it was Steph Curry. And they just keep him in when he's hot. Like, he probably could have
Yeah.
played like 30 minutes in this game.
And
Like,
been
they're
fine.
so deep. People don't understand that, like, they are so deep. But I've had a lot of people reach out to me and be like, I just wanted to say sorry. The Warriors are for real. Like, you're right. And I'm like, thank you. Like, I know that I'm a little biased, but like, I was also, you know, a fan of them when they were the worst team in the league 3 or 4 years ago. So I get it. Like, I know when they're going to be decent. I know when they're going to be bad.
They're playing so well. And again,
They are.
because like we don't have anything new to say about another really good team, so I was just gonna throw it in there right now. The Cavs are 11-0.
Yeah, actually. And I do have something tiny to say about that because
I have a little. I just meant we don't have any like same shit, different week. The Cavs are amazing.
they are still incredible. Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing I wanted to say just about the Cavs in
Yeah.
general is that putting Donovan Mitchell in MVP talks is crazy. And not that I don't think Donovan Mitchell is good, because he's amazing.
But his entire team is playing.
His entire team is amazing. He's averaging only 22 points a game, like 7 rebounds and 4
Modest.
assists.
Modest stats.
Yes. But I'm like,
Everyone's eating on the Cavs.
yes, I'm like, Darius Garland is averaging almost 21 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 4
You know what
assists
bothers
per
me?
game. And so
is
I'm like, that's
how-
not really MVP.
Is how shitty like the East is, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And like at this point, obviously Donovan Mitchell is going to be an all-star, of course. And then
course he
Darius
is. He's
Garland
amazing.
is. But I'm like, Jarrett Allen, like you almost have to give it to him.
Yep.
And then
Literally.
like Evan,
It's just gonna
Evan
be guys
like,
from-
Are they gonna have 4? If they have 4 all-stars, I'm literally gonna crash out because
I was going to say,
I will never
literally
stop
gonna
saying that
be
Jokic
like,
has never played with an all-star.
it's going to be like the starting 5 from the Celtics and the starting 5 from the Cavs.
That's
That's
so
like all they're
unfair.
gonna have.
Like that's
I know.
regulate the East. How many times do I have to say it? That should be illegal. You shouldn't be allowed. That's so lame. You have 4 or 5 all stars on your team. Get so for real.
Yeah.
Come
But you know
on.
what? I'm going to say it's respectfully not their fault that all the other teams in the East are horrible. Their GMs need to get better. But this is just a random thought while we're talking about it. I would love to see Derek White be an all-star this year. I think that this will be his first year that he's an all-star.
I love him.
I do too. I think he deserves it. He's been absolutely killing it. He, you know, had a huge role. Not that Team USA has anything to do with NBA regular season all-star stuff, but like I think that, you know, him being able to play with Jason Tatum on Team USA and also just like all the other incredible players that we have in the league, like he's come out and he's playing at like a comfortable all-star level.
Yeah. No, y'all cracked me up because people were like mad at me because I was like, the Celtics lost today the other day. And everyone was like, what do you have against the Celtics? Nothing. I literally love Drew Holiday. Like he's like one of my favorite players in the Eastern Conference. Love Drew Holiday. Love Derek White. He's a Colorado kid. Love the hometown kids.
Yeah.
I honestly, unfortunately, like Jason Tatum now. Jaylen Brown gets a little on my nerves.
See, I love Jaylen Brown.
I did, but
love
I've switched. It was the other way. I didn't like
Interesting.
Jason Tatum, but after like the starting 5 and Jaylen Brown's had a little bit of a sourpuss attitude a little bit lately. And
Interesting. Okay.
I'm a little bit
I'll have
more
to watch out for that.
high on JT right now. Like not even as a player, as a person. And so when I said I was happy they lost, it's because they're really good and I want to beat them. Like I literally have
like
no
me with the
personal
Chiefs.
vendetta against them. Yeah. Speaking also, like Doc Rivers, I'm so sorry. Your job is like literally like you probably have like, do you know you have 30 minutes? 30. Pack it up, bestie.
We were talking about this. Me and Jason were talking about this yesterday. How dumb do the Bucks look firing Budenholzer after they literally went to the second round of the playoffs with an injured Giannis, and then they fire him, and now he's the coach of the Suns. Are you good? I was gonna say it doesn't look any different on my end, so.
I didn't have my lights on, I guess. Oh, now they're flashing. Hold on. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. But how insane do the Bucks look? The Bucks front office firing Budenholzer after your team goes to the second round of the playoffs with an injured Giannis, and then
It's the Darvin Ham effect.
Yes, and then they hire the most fired coach in the league that everyone
your
says is a
assistant
bad
coach is Darvin
coach.
Yeah, you have Darvin Ham and Doc Rivers.
And you're 2-8
Giannis-
when
Giannis-
Giannis is averaging like 35 a game.
What did Giannis have last night? I felt so bad for
44
him.
points.
Was it 44?
Yes.
43.
Oh, okay. Either
43
way,
was same
insanity.
thing. 43, 13, 5. Dame was 4 for 15, 1 for 8 from 3. Yeah, no, that cracks me up. And can we talk about how Giannis is literally such a kid? Like I hate him. So he he had an
roll.
offensive foul on Jaylen Brown and he like went to give him a handshake and did this.
Jaylen Brown was not having it, though. Jaylen Brown was like,
He literally in the thing he said Giannis is a kid.
yeah, that's I texted Spencer.
Because
I
at
was
first
like,
I was
he's
like,
a
oh, is this all?
child.
Well, I was like, is this all in good fun? At first, because I was like, oh, are they about to laugh? And then Jaylen Brown was like,
Yeah, not funny.
no, yeah, it's insane to me that the Cavs are 11-0 and then you have Bucks suck. And then, so I guess Joel Embiid is coming back on Wednesday.
I was gonna say, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season, obviously per my predictions in the East, if you would have told me that the Bucks and the 76ers would be number 14 and 15 in the East, I would have laughed you off the face of the earth.
All I have to say to you, Embiid, is like, just play. Like, can we just play? Just play. I'm bet like literally just play. Okay. And it
I
has
just
made
want
me
to say,
yes.
oh, sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna say that, like, a lot of people, like, do I like Joel Embiid? No. But I will say that when he is not foul grifting, I think that he's a great player. I saw one game of his in the Olympics where he was playing really great ethical basketball. And I was like, this is the guy that people talk about. This is the guy that 76ers fans, like, think that he is all the time.
Yeah.
This is the guy that they're putting on a pedestal. And like, I see that here, in that one game. And I'm like, why can't you be like that all the time? Why do you need to have 18 free throw attempts per game every game? Why do you need to
like to bubble around? He's such a whiner.
Yes.
And then and like he's low-key dirty, which I hate dirty players. Like he is a low-key dirty player. But I was watching again, one of my favorite podcasts, like the Jeff Teague podcast, and they were talking and it made me feel so good because I was watching it from this morning. So it was after yesterday. And they were talking about how Joel Embiid is returning and it made me feel validated because Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic play the same position, but they are not the same position, if that makes sense. Like Nikola Jokic runs our entire game and Joel
He's
Embiid
the facilitating center.
He's going to get like 30 a game, but I was just looking up because I was curious because again, like, I mean, we'll get into Jokic when we talk about that game, but like Jokic last night was fucking stupid because he's stupid in a good way.
Good at basketball.
He's so stupid. 37, 18, 15. Okay. Joel Embiid's most assists in a game was 13 assists in 2019. So like, and Jokic has had like literally multiple of these games.
That many. Yeah.
Literally. And so I think it's just like, I don't understand the argument at all because they are not the same in any way. Like, yeah, they're both big centers, but like Joel Embiid is going to be the guy that gets you 30 points every single game. Half of them are going to be at the free throw line. 90%. And then Jokic, like, again, he'll get 37, but he will also get 18 rebounds and 15 assists. Okay. Like, they're not the same, but I just want Joel Embiid to play. I'm so sick of like everyone even saying anything about him. He's not playing, so you really can't talk about him. I'm so sorry. Like, he's been at home. Like, if you really wanted to punish him, the league should have made him play 3 games straight in Denver. Like, I'm so sorry.
With 40 minutes a game.
Yeah, like I don't know. So the 76ers suck, and now you have Tyrese Maxey out. Again, I mean, we talked about this a little bit. I thought they were going to have like the best roster to make them go as far. Like,
me too.
I thought this. I think I said this is what I said in the offseason. I said this is their best chance.
Yes,
which
I agree.
Again is annoying because you have to get that many guys to. But it's not looking great in Philly.
Nope, it's not always sunny in Philadelphia.
Ooh, God, cook.
This is me cooking.
Chefing it up.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Put a
The
little spice on there.
76ers are looking bad. The Bucks are looking bad. The East is looking bad. If you look at it, even after this weekend, we talked about this on Thursday, even after 3 more days of basketball games, the West, I think it's like now the West's just like top 11 are still better than the bottom 12 or 13.
I'm just so disgusted that I went, oh, dare we say the East might be competitive this year?
I also said that, so shout out to us for being wrong. But again, I do just want to say, oh,
shout out to a team that like the team isn't good. LaMelo Ball will be an all-star this year. LaMelo Ball, while he's such a corny, spoiled asshole rich kid, because he is, and he grew up in Calabasas. What do you mean? You grew up in Calabasas, and your dad's telling literally the world that you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Okay, like both of you and your brother, but. He is an amazing athlete. He is very talented. Again, he ran over a kid's foot or something. I love that he's healthy. He is a punk. That's what I mean. He's a punk. But he's a fun to watch punk. So I just wanted to say shout out to him. He's been playing. He's an incredible guard. But yeah, the Knicks suck? ?
And I just wanted to add this too. I actually had something to talk about this with the Knicks, just very small. Yeah. The Knicks are already, the starting 5 are already playing 40 plus minutes per game. We're 10 games into the season. They can't, like that. It's not sustainable if they're playing 40 minutes a game the entire season and they're already struggling and you're already not a super deep team. What are you going to do if you make it to the playoffs?
I think they missed DiVincenzo. I think they got too many guys.
They do.
I think they have too many guys that were second options that are now expected to be third, fourth, and fifth options, and it's not working. DiVincenzo knew his role. He was a spot up shooter. He was going to get those threes. He didn't need to be the guy.
Jalen Brunson were the perfect backcourt together. They complemented each other very well. He's like you said. He's such a great catch and shoot 3 guy. He's a great defender. He's that kind of guy that like aids a Jalen Brunson offense perfectly. Like Jalen Brunson can run an offense with him running off ball and, with the 3 guys that he had down low. And it made sense. And now you take out Julius Randle, take out your backcourt with DiVincenzo. You put in Cat, who is totally different than Julius Randle. And but he's playing well in his own right, but not
offensively. But he's
team.
not, and he's not a center. Like he's not that. He's not a center. Like he's 7 foot.
No, we talked about this last week. He's been playing against here. He's been playing next to Rudy Gobert for years and years and years. That he never had to be a true center, and now he's coming to this team expected to be a totally different type of center.
It's so weird. He's getting like 30 a night and stuff, and then Jalen Brunson is too. But I remember I said something about Like, how are they going to fit all these pieces together? And everyone was like, what do you mean? Like, you don't have any offensive pieces. Well, like, it's really just like Brunson and like Kat's a shooter. I'm like, okay, but like Mikal Bridges was just used to being like his number 1, number 2 option. And OG doesn't want to be the 4th option on it. Like, what are you doing? So like,
Josh
it's just
Hart.
been awkward. I mean, Precious Achua is like still not playing and stuff.
He'll be. I think that he'll be very helpful when he comes back. But
he will, but like
whenever that may be,
you have.
It's not going to fix their problems.
No, they're 5 starters just in the loss to Indiana last night. Jalen Brunson 40 minutes, Josh Hart 42, Kat 38, OG 36. Mikal Bridges, 41. McBride was the only guy on the bench with a lot of minutes. He had 29. And then your only other 2 guys had 9 and 1 minute.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You played 6 guys.
No, literally, that's what I said was like they legitimately have at max a 7-man rotation.
In a 12-point loss.
Yes.
Or 11-point loss.
Against the Pacers, who have also been struggling in their own right this season.
Yeah, Tyrese finally had a good game. Listen, I think like the Pacers are good when Tyrese is making his shots, but like to start the season, he like hadn't been great, but he had like a 35-point. He's fine. I did not think the Knicks were going to look like this, and I honestly think that they may have tried. They might have put too much dip on their chip. I think they might have gotten too many guys and not enough role players. Like I think they got too many guys that are like worse or want to be like the second. I think they did themselves a disservice by maybe trying to create like a super team, but like I think a super team consists of role players. I think a super team consists of role players. Like I think on like the Nuggets, I think Aaron Gordon's one of the best. Like has become one of the best role players ever. Same. Like I just think, I don't know. I think something's going on. They've got to get it together. Like I said, I thought it was going to be awkward trying to fit all these guys. Like even if they're putting up good numbers, it's obviously still not gelling. And y'all said that I was wrong. You said, "What do you mean?"
When you look at the Knicks, I just feel like their roster construction just doesn't make sense. And not only because they really only have like 7 rotation players, like comfortably 6 and 7 max, but just because like the way that these players play, they're not all really made for the same system. Kat's not made for a Thibs system. Kat can't play 42 minutes a game. He does on like very specific occasions. At least he did for the Timberwolves, but he can't do that every night, especially not as a true big. He's never been a true big.
And like against the Pacers, like they're a small team. I felt like, I don't know. I can't playing a 6-man rotation essentially in, what are we in November? 10 games in, 9 to 11 games in for some
middle
people.
Of November.
A 6-man rotation is crazy work by coach.
Yeah. Asinine.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, even if they end up in the playoffs, that's gonna last them 1 round. They'll get swept round 1.
I think
it's way too much.
You're gonna burn out your guys, first of all.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, it's way too much for them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was like super excited about it because I was like, oh, they're.
Me too.
I think they had too many big names, and now I didn't realize how small they were, especially on their bench. But yeah, yikes.
Like I said, I just don't think that they I don't think that they fit together. Like the way that we talk about Buddy Hield and the
conference.
Totally. The way that we talk about Buddy Hield and the way that we talk about Klay Thompson, like, and those trades and being put on the teams that they did, like those pieces make sense. Those are smart choices based off the teams that they got moved to and the type of play style that they have. They made sense. I feel like the trades that the Knicks made didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the offense that Thibs likes to run. It doesn't make sense for the team that they're like trying to build. Like the chemistry almost can't work because of the pieces that you have. It doesn't make sense. So,
it's just not gelling.
Yes, they'll have to figure that out. They have to figure that out.
At first, it's like kind of everyone was like, oh, they just need like several games, but it's not like, it's still like it's clunky. Like it's all clunky.
I agree.
I don't want to talk about the East anymore, though. They're like literally so gross. Okay, so we're going back over. Because I can't sit here and not talk about
swing from the chandelier.
Ballerina. My guy.
Nikola Jokic. My goat.
You see him? My
Best
king.
in the world. BITW,
Hey,
baby.
man. And I don't even mean king like that because I think I love Natalia, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his daughter's name.
Same.
Onyenya, something like that. Sure.
That was so cute.
Oh,
I like that.
I love them. They're the royal family of Denver.
They really are, truly.
Nikola Jokic is the best player in basketball, and
It's not
swear
even
to
close.
God.
It's not even
gap-
close.
The gap is so disgustingly wide. It's literally, the gap is like the length of the Great Wall of China. I'm so sorry.
Here's Nikola Jokic. Here's the
Second
next
best.
player.
Nikola Jokic has like the most insane brain out of anyone ever.
It's
The Nuggets.
Beautiful.
I'm sorry, that game. Well, I'm sorry. That game was like, I think my favorite game of the season so far. That was one of the best fourth quarters I think I've ever seen. And it was such a good battle between Kyrie and Jokic, both like incredibly skilled and smart players, like tough
Yes.
players. I was getting so worried, of course. And I said that I was dramatic and I was freaking out about the Nuggets because, again, like, I didn't think that all of them were suddenly become shooters. Do I think it's just been a hot streak? Yes. But the Nuggets were shooting the lights out, especially in the first quarter. I don't like, it's like there's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin, but Nikola Jokic is an absolute animal. I can't even believe that there was an audacity for Anthony Davis to be number one on the ladder, and everyone was like, "Spencer, like relax about the ladder." I'm like, I won't shut up about the ladder because it's rude.
Won't shut up about the ladder.
Because put some respect on Nikola Jokic's name, first of all. I'm not saying Anthony Davis isn't having an MVP type season. Well, I am now because they've lost so many in a row. But I'm not saying Anthony Davis is playing bad. I'm saying that the gap is so large, you can't in good faith, like you literally can't not put Jokic at one.
Yeah, how
It was
could you
and Tatum?
explain?
Like, I literally posted their stat averages, and Jokic was clearing them all in every single category.
By several.
in rebounds and assists. Of course, he's number one in rebounds and assists, and he's fourth in scoring. I think after last night, he's probably like third or second.
Fourth in scoring is insane for Nikola Jokic, by the way. Like, he's
Yes.
not someone that wants to score 40 a night.
And it's so like, I love this because Michael Porter Jr. was like, he does it. He wasn't trying to say he does it quietly, but it's true. I literally looked up and I said, when did he get 37 points? Like, you're not like Kyrie last night. I'm like, oh, Kyrie probably had like 45 if I didn't have the score in front of me or any stats. Like, like we talk about the eye test a lot. Like the eye test, you're like, Kyrie's insane. Jokic just is like, oh, grab the rebound here. 37, 18, 15, 61.9% from the field, 3 for 3 from three. 75.4% true shooting. Nikola Jokic, I didn't think it was possible for him to get better. And I'm not going to lie, like I keep getting scared each season, like in the past like few years. Cause I'm like, is this the season that he like starts to like not get bad,
plateau?
but you know, like when do we, like he's just literally
When does
improving
he
himself.
top off? We are literally watching probably somewhere, if it's not the
A
peak.
top 3 player of all time, almost like like a
Yes.
top 3 peak of all time.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we're watching the peak of the current best player in the world, and it is amazing. Like,
It's just amazing to
he
watch.
is- he's everywhere all the time. Everywhere all the time.
And again, like I just don't know how you couldn't enjoy watching someone that makes every single person better. Like I was like, as I'm sure these guys are having the time of their lives, these young guys. Imagine getting drafted to the Nuggets and knowing, like, who doesn't want to play with a guy that gets 15, 17 assists a game while also getting
Who
37?
Doesn't. Yes.
And I told you I was worried at the beginning of the year. I wasn't worried about CB, but like the shooting looked bad. Like, you know, Michael Porter Jr. was in a slump a little bit and it looked clunky. We did have new pieces. We had a new starter. I take it again, I love to be dramatic, and I'll be dramatic again.
Me too, for the rest of my life.
They look, again, like I was like, we have Nikola Jokic. Like, it's crazy how we're winning the championship this year. They look so amazing. And at first I was scared because, everyone, it seemed clunky. Peyton didn't look good to start the season. Again, to his defense, did not play in preseason and stuff like that. He's
getting comfortable.
It's been so amazing because at first I was scared because Jokic looked pissed. Like the first few games, the start of the season, like he looked so unhappy, and I was like, oh, he might like quit today. Like, it just looked so frustrating. I mean, the game that he had, like, I think like 6 assists or something, like you were like, oh my God, they all suck. Everyone
he had 4 assists that game.
Yeah. That's what I thought, but I was like, is that too low? Yeah, everyone was missing.
No, it's not too low. That's the worst part, is that 4.
We're still without AG, and like the young kids are cooking, and
they're doing so good.
The Nuggets, just by design, like we're not a 3-point like team. We're not the Celtics. Like we're not the catch and shoot players, but it's been so beautiful to watch, especially because I'm going to say this for both of them. CB, Julian Strawther, and Peyton Watson are all cutting and slashing and playing so well that you don't have, like, everyone was worried about the spacing, and now Russell, like, all of our new bench pieces are making Jokic's life so much easier and letting him get those assists, because now they figured it out. They're just running around, and there's like always going to be 2 or 3 on Jokic, so they're just cutting and slashing and getting to the rim, even if they're not doing the catch and shoot. Like, we don't need to try and be the Celtics or the Warriors. Like, if it's popping, it's popping. Peyton Watson, my child, was 4 for 4 from 3. Again, Caitlin and I have talked about, and Caitlin was so right. She said he just needed like his confidence.
He does. He needed a couple of games.
I feel
to
that
get
way about
comfortable.
everyone.
Yeah.
You need a couple games where your shot is falling, and so you don't feel like you suck, I think. And that's how I felt about CB last year. I felt like he's playing, of course, like the highest minutes he's ever played. And last year, I felt like there was when he like kind of got into his offensive slump, like there wasn't like a get right game for him, like that I wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, where like he was, getting everything going. And now, like, on Friday, he shot this like big 3, and he just has the biggest smile. Like, Peyton Watson is looking comfortable.
Good. You start feeling confident and comfortable, and you start making choices that you would make in practice against your team, but you start making them on the court in like actual games, and you start getting more confident and more comfortable and putting yourself out there. And I think that, like, I feel like even CB, we were talking about this the first couple of games, and I think that's why we're winning now too, by the way, is because I feel like everyone's finally a little bit more confident, the young guys especially, because the first few games, all of the young guys still felt like slow. They were hesitant to make certain choices. Yes, scared. They were holding back a lot and making really safe choices. And safe choices in basketball are not always the best choices. A lot of the time, safe choices don't work when you're playing against not safe defense. People aren't playing easy defense on you. Safe choices works against easy defense. When people are playing tough defense, you need to make aggressive choices. You need to make choices that you might not normally make. And I feel like they're all starting to do that. And I love to see it. And I do, while you're talking about the threes, I wanted to talk about this because I just want to shout him out. Like, I feel like we all have been, and I think it's warranted. I feel like we've all been hard on Jamal. And I get it. His shot's still not falling. I mean, at least it's efficiently. I was going to say it's gotten a little bit better over the last couple of games that he's played. So I shout out to him for that, or at least he's scoring more. Maybe he's shooting more. But the thing about him that I've noticed, because I've been watching him, he has been really impacting other parts of the game. He is a big reason that a lot of our young guys are open around the 3-point line. I was watching several plays of his the other day where, whether he had the ball or not, so whether he's off ball or on ball, he would drive to the basket and make the defenders crash, because Jokic is also under there. And so if you have Jamal and Jokic, you're probably going to have 3 or 4 defenders there. And then either him or Jokic can kick it out to the 3-point line for an almost completely open 3. He's done that several times where he's made a fantastic choice, kind of just like looked around, cut, and you have defenders dropping with him, plus Nikola Jokic is a defender wherever he is, or they are, because he's always doubled too. You have these defenders kind of like crashing with him, and then you're leaving all these guys open on the 3-point line.
So yeah, agreeing with you. I like saw several clips when I was like, I literally rewatched the game last night after it was over. But anyway, I was going to say it's been so helpful. Like obviously CB's going through a hot streak on his 3. Like I think he's shooting like 60%, which we love CB, but
Absolutely
like,
insane, yes.
do I think he's going to average 60% from 3? If so, literally my life is over. But
slap my butt and call me Sally. I'll freaking sell my soul for 60% CB3s.
Yep, period. Whatever the fuck you just said. Anyway. But there were a couple times, like Caitlin was saying, where, you know, because Jokic needs 2 to 3 to the whole team on him. And then like Jamal will like draw some guys in. And then luckily, they've just been leaving CB wide open, which they were doing to start the season, and we knew they were going to do, clearly.
Yeah.
But I'm like, now he's shooting 60%. Like, y'all should put some respect on my man's name. I will say, I feel like our first little bit of weakness. And with CB, okay, and CB to me, I miss KCP because he's a part of our championship core. But CB is miles better off ball so far, miles better offensively.
Yes.
He's like cutting, driving. You know, KCP was not putting up 16, 18, 20 points a game. Like, and that's just not his role. While Christian Braun is such a pest and he's so good on the perimeter and he's a great perimeter defender, you can tell the age difference a little bit because I still think he needs to improve on his screen navigation. Like I could see.
I agree.
Listen, it's Kyrie Irving. Like if Kyrie Irving is making what he was like 15 of 18, like
he's incredible.
As Caitlin says, and is true, good defense, but that's better offense right there.
It is. And Kyrie Irving is the best finisher of all time in the NBA. Like he's literally like number 1 on the list. He will find a way to score. If he's having an efficient game, you're just kind of screwed. There's almost nothing that you can do. And so the way that CB played on him, that's about as good as you can do.
Yeah,
I think that's about all you can do.
And of course, like that's like his one weakness. But again, he's so much younger than KCP. He's been in the league less. I think that's just like the last little thing that he can develop. Because KCP is a great screen navigator. And I think CB is kind of still learning how to read that so he doesn't end up behind and chasing, which I feel like, because Shea, they get really good screens with Shea and people like Kyrie on that Mavs team.
Yep.
So I think that's like his one, of course, like if I have like one little critique, but he's so great everywhere else. And Caitlin and I were laughing and everyone was making fun of us because I posted our texts because we were talking about how we feel like the moms of Julian and Peyton, even though like I don't even know, like if they're like 21 yet, probably. So I'm probably like literally 6 to 7 years older. I literally think of Peyton and Julian as like my little like kids. And I'm like, okay, like let's go in the minivan and get a Happy Meal after the game. You boys did great. Like, I don't know
like, if you saw my text after, but I literally was like, I feel like they'd like blizzards. Like they seem like the kids, like the soccer mom, like they're blizzards kids. Like
they want to go.
We were talking about it because yes, exactly. Like
they're just so young and cute.
Yes, but I was going to say literally between the Nuggets, 3 young guys, and I'll say Christian Braun's a young guy. He is. I know that he's obviously in his third year in the league.
He feels like he's the older brother, even though I think he's only 1 year.
Totally.
Like I think he's 1 year in the league more, but he reminds me like he's like the older brother, and they're like the 2 kids in the back that are like they're like the twins in the back that are like punching each other.
And he's like, guys, stop.
He's like, oh my God, Mom
will take us to McDonald's if you guys don't stop.
Yeah, shut up.
I like literally though, between the 3 of them, between CB, Peyton Watson, and Julian Strother, and then my 4 young guys on the Wizards, I told her that I felt like a Mormon mom with just like all my adopted children in my minivan.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I have all these babies that I just like am watching progress in front of me every single day. And it's the most beautiful thing.
It's just so great. You know, Jokic makes everyone better, but it's just so fun to watch these young guys get in there. And even like Russell Westbrook he's been such a great, like he didn't do much last night except turn the ball over. I love him, but like, God, you got to chill. He just has really silly turnovers. So I think that's like the place that the Nuggets have to get better at. But like I think the Nuggets are like second in pace or something. Like, that's something the Nuggets have always struggled with. And I think Jokic actually does really well with pace sometimes because
I agree.
he's
a fantastic pacemaker.
And we've never been great in transition. And I always think that's because Jokic is 3 steps ahead and everyone else is 1 step behind because, it ends up in a Jokic turnover, but he sees a guy and he's like chucking it to them and they're like, oh, I wasn't ready. So you see like a lot of the guys are meeting his level and I think it's making Jokic happier. Okay. Like, cause honestly, at first, I was like, this might be the best bench we've ever had in the Jokic era. And they're stepping up way more. This reminds me, it takes me back to the year we won the championship where, I don't know, it just looks so much better to me than last year. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I think it's the movement. Like, I think it's the guys that are learning to just like cut and try and get people away, or that they're ready to be, take that open 3 because everyone's just like gonna sag them off to go to Jokic. And it's just been so great to watch. Like, Jokic is the most incredible player I've ever seen with, like, I literally think I'm going, first of all, when he retires, I fear I will move to Sombor, Serbia, because at the one chance that maybe I see him like on the playground playing basketball with his brothers. Like, you think I'm gonna watch the Nuggets with another center, another starting center? Do you know how much that poor kid, whoever has to go into that role, like I'd be like, no. I
actually, I think I'm sick for the rest of my life. Sorry.
My toe's still broken. You've been in the league for 3 years now. Yeah, no, it's still broken.
Can't play.
Then poor.
Can Nikola Jokic come back?
That poor, like, he's like calling him and like, what do I do? And he like doesn't answer because it's Jokic is like,
he's Nikola
literally
Jokic.
Once I leave, he's like, no one talk to me ever again. But it literally just cracks me up because I like just this whole fan base, like that poor kid. Like, we're all just gonna be sitting there like,
he's now Jokic, but he'll do.
Jokic wouldn't have done that. Jokic would have passed that. Jokic would have made that. So I feel so bad for whoever you are in the future. Yes, I will be moving to Sombor, Serbia, and I will never watch an NBA game probably ever again as I live. Even if I have to watch him. Even if I have to watch him at the horse track, I don't know. Like, I'm just going to be like, please.
Do they have basketball hoops at the horse track?
Please. I'm begging you, bestie. So God bless Nikola Jokic. Can we talk about how in his post-game presser that he literally said he's like, like everyone's playing well just because I'm putting up, like good, not great numbers. Did you just call yourself mid? Did Jokic call himself mid?
I'm sorry, sir. You're literally averaging a 30-point triple-double with 2 steals and a block per game.
Before the fourth quarter even, like before we're even at commercial break for the fourth.
Honey, call yourself mid again. I swear. And that's like what a lot of people say is that like he's like the most perfectly humble superstar.
I mean, by the way, through 10 games, this is Jokic's average: 29.7 points, 13.7 rebounds, 11.7 assists. I bet it would be way higher if we didn't have that 4-assist game. 1.7 steals per game, 6 triple doubles, 56.3% on the field, and 56.4 on 3-point. I am so happy his 3-point shot is falling because what are you gonna do? What now? What do you do? You can't get him in the paint. You can't get him in the paint. You can't get
him in the mid range. He's gonna Sombor shuffle your ass.
He's gonna floater. He's so insane. Like I know, like I can't stop talking about him, but like, dude,
he can do it
like,
all, baby.
How can you watch him and say like this is not the most amazing basketball player I've ever seen with my like entire like in my lifetime? Like it's just, and I say this again because it's for everybody. He's Jokic for everybody. He's Jokicing for the assists and the rebounds. And he looked so locked in yesterday, which felt good. Like, I think obviously like he always wants to beat his friend and good nature, but, he's just like, what do you do? Like, you can't do anything for him. Like he's the best. No, you can't. And he's so good. And
no, you literally just have to step on the court and then pray.
But that's like, it is funny though, like that, because he's averaging just like casual triple doubles that like you have to put like, oh, like Anthony Davis has had monster games and they're still nowhere near Jokic because we're just so used to this from Jokic.
I know it doesn't. He's such a quiet superstar where
And he's
that's
still
what
not
people.
getting calls.
Well, of course, and that's what I'm saying is it's. I don't know. It's ridiculous. He's so good at everything that he does. He touches a basketball and it turns to gold. I've got nothing.
If I were Jokic, I would literally put on a whistle so that I could finally get a foul call.
Could you imagine him doing a little layup and then just blowing the whistle in the ref's face?
Yeah. Oh
And
my
then
God.
just
Wait.
standing on the free throw line.
Speaking of Jamal though, because I want to talk about the Mavs a little bit because obviously the Mavs are the Mavs, but Jamal called timeout, y'all, yesterday. Jamal Murray called timeout, aka
For the Mavs.
He looked Jason Kidd in the face after he hit I think it was his second three. I told Caitlin earlier, Jason Kidd is better than I because we would have to square up. I don't care how much older I am than you. We're fighting
Jordan
outside.
Clarkson his ass.
No, so fast. What?
Yeah.
Come here, punk.
Yeah.
We're taking this outside. I'm so sorry.
Square up to me, bestie.
Square up. Let's go.
Meet me out back.
You called timeout. And it made me so happy though, because we were talking about Steph's night because he, he did that last night. And we were talking earlier, I love LeBron's going crazy.
Yeah.
Calling timeout for the other team might be the third best celebration I've ever seen.
It's so good.
Telling another team to go to timeout is diabolical. Jamal, you are a menace.
We're whooping your ass so bad, you're gonna need that.
Before we talk about the Mavs, I had again, y'all know the drill by now. We're Nuggets fans. I could, of course, everyone knows I could literally have a 2-hour podcast literally talking about one game from the Nuggets and it would be great. But we're unfortunately not going to do that, sadly, for you.
Listen, it's been a little bit over an hour of pretty much Warriors and Nuggets. So sorry, friends. We love you.
I forgot because I wanted to shout out because I keep forgetting about him because he's been doing really well. Only because that I forget that I think he's just playing a little more selflessly this year. And I love to see it. And I was telling Caitlin this, he sometimes has kind of rubbed me the wrong way in the past. I hate, of course, and we've talked about this because that's why I love Jokic. I hate the and because I went to University of Kentucky, so I know how it is firsthand. I hate the making into athletes into gods because Michael Porter has rubbed me wrong way in some of his interviews before because, he's complained about how he fell in the draft because of his injury and, he's used to being the number one guy and in the bubble when he, was getting pissed that they weren't passing to him and blah, 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 blah. And I hate whiners. If you're playing with Nikola Jokic, you have the best and easiest job in the world. So
just be ready for Nikola Jokic.
And I've been a little upset because I'm you're 6'11", dude. Let's see some defensive, anything. Because even though Peyton Watson and him have the same wingspan, Peyton Watson is 3 inches shorter. So I'm he could be a good defender if he wanted to. And he had 4 assists last night, which I know is not insane. But for him, it is.
And he's been consistently getting several assists per game.
It used to be just 0 and maybe 1
0
accidentally.
and 1. Yeah, literally. It would be 0 to 1.
And he's also been making smarter choices, I think, instead of just standing there and catching and shooting. It's just doing a lot of more passing, a little more facilitating to the young guys.
Too.
Not just waiting so he can catch and shoot. I'm just impressed with how, and Michael Malone is too. He talked about him in probably the best light he's ever seen. And I think Michael Malone and I had similar thoughts because he was he's playing the game right now, he's passing and I'm proud of him for that, Do I think that if we, don't win another ring in the next couple of years, we'll be the first one out to go be a number 1 or 2 option somewhere else? Absolutely. I'm very, very convinced he will do that. And I'm not saying our team would do that. I'm saying I fully believe that is his goal at one point is to be a number 1 or 2 option. But
I believe it.
Right now, I do think, he's playing really well and he's just doing better things for the team. And there were actually 2 plays because I wanted to show he actually hit the game winner. It just wasn't a buzzer beater. But we're going to watch the play because it was a floater. And
I have a perfect meme that I saw on Twitter that I have to show you, or that I have to tell the class when we're done with the play too. Yep.
because, usually, it's gonna, and first of all, Michael had an insane first quarter. He was making everything. And I loved how Michael Malone was the one that was like, it's my job to make sure that they're still feeding him in the second half. Cause I agree.
Yeah.
Like he has like big quarters. And then I do feel like they sometimes forget to feed the hot hand because they're trying to get it to like Jokic and Jamal. But I'm like, again, like you got to feed the guy who's making everything.
Got to feed the hot hand. Yeah.
And he was, if it's one thing Michael's going to do, it's going to hit a step back jumper. Like that man he's so funny. Anyway.
Yep.
So he hits this. And at first, you would assume he's going to take the three because the score is 120 tied. And so, you want to hit the three. So at least if they hit a three, it's overtime. Otherwise, if they hit a two, you're winning. But he decides and Kyrie's on him. He decides to eliminate the three and he sneaks around and goes for the floater. And it was a really sexy play, I will have to say. Yes. Okay. So obviously you can see that there's 19 seconds left and it's Jamal
120
and Jokic.
to 120.
120. And I just want y'all to watch like Michael, like obviously you can't see where I'm pointing, but watch Michael, how he like cuts around to do the floater. It was a mature.
Yes, he's in the bottom right corner, number one.
Number one.
Not all the way in the bottom
Pass
right.
to Jokic. Yeah, Kyrie's on Mike.
Two-man game. Murray's got it.
Pass to Mike. Mike
two
cut.
defenders.
It's perfect.
And that is just something that I think he in times past would have prayed that the three was going to go in and he would have stepped back, and he is tall as heck. So I don't blame him. But I love when he's in that mode, and he's making everything because he is like 6'11". And but yeah, what's your meme?
It says MPJ game winner in a game which Jokic and Murray played. I can't believe this is my life. And it's a thing with him and it says big dog.
Big dog. That was just an incredibly smart decision from Michael. And
It was.
The little floater, that was a great play. And then the last
It was
thing,
just such a good choice in that moment.
yeah. The last thing I was showing is just this clip of, it was the perfect kick out because it was like a pick and roll where usually Jamal would have, Yoke gives the screen and then Jamal was rolling to the rim. But there were literally like three defenders on Jamal. And so I don't know why you leave Jokic alone on the perimeter, but they kicked it back out to him, and it was some more
That
basketball. So that's why we love the two-man game.
Why would they?
We love the two-man game. So you're going to see Jamal bringing the defenders in.
Look at all three of them.
Look at
everyone
all of them.
crash. Idiots.
What? Look at everyone in the paint.
That
why
was
are you?
such
What is
poor
this?
defensive execution.
They could have given this to Mike too, even if Jokic didn't want to shoot that.
Dude.
Like, what was that? What was that
That's
decision making?
crazy.
Which we can move on to the Mavs. Of course, they were out lively. Do I think that? I think Washington would have been a good matchup for AG. So I think it was kind of a little more evenly matched that we didn't have either of them. I mean, I think they make a difference in this game. But I don't think Lively's going to do anything to Jokic. No offense. I think Lively is incredible. Just Jokic is a league of his own.
Yep. I agree.
But
first of all, Kyrie Irving. Can we just talk about this man?
I literally tweeted
Kyrie
like,
Irving. Go ahead. You're good.
I was like, I literally just tweeted like in the middle of the fourth quarter. I was like, can you stop now? Like Kyrie, like
yes.
we get it.
First of all, I love this. I think Kyrie Irving is like my favorite redemption story in the NBA currently.
43 points.
Yeah. Yep. He had 43 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and a block, and he was shooting 77%. His field goal ratio was 17 for 22, which is just
It was 15
incredible.
for 18 at one point. It was insane.
Yeah. Yes.
One
he's
turnover.
amazing. Yeah. Yep. He's like I said, statistically, he's one of the best finishers in the league. If he gets the ball, he's going to find a way to get it in the basket. He's such a smart player. And like I said, he's just kind of like one of my favorite redemption stories. Like I feel like he had such a hard time on a couple of teams. And we talk about this like Russell Westbrook, how like Russell Westbrook went to the Clippers, went to the Lakers, and you have people like slandering him. And is he the best player in the world? No, but he's not a horrible person. And you're acting like he's a horrible person because he's having a hard time playing. And with Kyrie, obviously they had a lot of very controversial narratives around him, and there was a lot of stuff going on there. And I'm not even going to get into that because I just want to talk about him as a human and basketball and stuff. But he had a really hard time on a couple of teams, on the Celtics and on the Nets and everything. And when he got traded to the Mavs, people were like, oh, okay, like what's he going to do there? He's been amazing. He's been such a fantastic like backup to Luka.
Yeah.
Like when Luka's off, Kyrie can be on, and Kyrie was on, and he just like has. No one's talking about him anymore. No one's slandering him now that he's on the Mavs, which is hilarious. Like you don't have like anyone, you know, talking poorly about him anymore, and he just is focused on his family and in basketball.
He's so
and
scary.
It's beautiful.
He's so
He played
scary.
amazing, and he's
When
just,
he makes like when
he's
he
so
makes
good.
those shots, it's horrifying. It's literally horrifying. And
yeah, it's like, how does he? Jason and I were saying that it's literally like they're little geometric psychopaths. Like they can literally, and same with like Jokic, like you can throw the ball up and somehow the
It just
geometry
lands.
in their head, it gets in somehow. It's insane.
I had so much PTSD from last year when he hit like the left-handed hook shot for the game winner.
The game winner. That was so painful.
That was like literally the worst thing in my entire life. He's so insane.
I hated
And
how much I loved it because I was like, it's so good, but it's against my team. And so I'm pissed off that you made it, but that was incredible. But I'm
also,
pissed
like,
off.
But also, like, you literally can do nothing against that. Like, it's not even like,
No, of
wow,
course
the
not.
defense could have been better. No. And he said he practiced that shot, the running left floater. Like, what?
Yeah,
he's
you
like,
got to practice it.
Yeah, he's insane. But honestly, that's so real because that's what I would be doing. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to practice. If I can't shoot normally, I'm going to practice all the weird shit. I'm going to do a shot like that and see if
Yep.
it goes in.
Like that.
Yeah, just throw it at like the Granny Smith. That's what I'm doing, the Granny shot. He was so insane. Luckily, I mean, he had like of course we didn't want to foul and give him 3 free throws. So it was
Yeah.
scary at the end. You know, he shot the 3 and I know people thought he just missed it, but Peyton Watson actually got a finger on the ball. Thank God. That's 2 games in an, he
Saved by
wasn't a
Peyton
problem.
Watson's finger.
Yeah, 2 games out of the past 3 that saved by him getting a little tap on it. Such a smart play. He's so amazing.
we need to what's it called? A copyright or protect Peyton Watson's finger. It's the same finger every time, and it
Oh, is
bends.
it? I'm crying.
He was. It's the same finger that saved the shots.
Peyton Watson was 4 for 4 from 3, by the way. Again, I just need to stop
know,
talking about the
amazing.
Nuggets, but I like literally think I'm hilarious. I was like, Peyton Wardell Watson?
Stop.
Steph Watson?
Steph,
Peyton Curry?
Peyton Watson Curry.
Okay, anyway. So now we have to talk about the other superstar in that team because also I know everyone wants him to be MVP, but he does not play like it. AKA we have Luka.
It's been a tough start to the season for him. And it's not like he's playing bad. He's Luka, but like I feel like he almost.
I mean, his
starts
efficiency
every
is
game.
never high.
Well,
Like,
that's
I
what
feel
was
like
gonna say.
he's always
He
taking
almost
30 shots.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So he always starts every game with the lowest efficiency because he's like shooting the ball so many times, like trying to find his shot. And like he's used to making crazy shots. And so when the shot's not falling and he's still chucking up half court shots and logo threes and these crazy shots, like if your shot's not falling, your shot's not falling. Like I don't know.
I was telling Caitlin this earlier because a lot of people are like, wow, like I just, you know, obviously Luka, one of the best players in the world, and Jokic, I can't wait till they're on their same team. I'm good on this side, okay? Like I and Caitlin and I both agreed. Like we both love watching them, you know, like chalk it up like a joke
All-Star
around during the
game.
All-Star game.
Yeah.
I don't want Luka on my team because Luka is a ball hog, okay? And everyone knows Luka is a ball hog. And I don't want a ball hog on the team with Nikola frickin' Jokic. Luka was 24 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, almost a triple-double. He was 9 for 19, 2 for 8 from 3, 5 turnovers. when you have, and he played 40 minutes, when you have Kyrie Irving, who has 43 points in 35 minutes on 77.3% shooting, 92.2% true shooting with 1 turnover, like, feed him. Like, why are you taking, why
are you
when
dribbling
you're
an
up
entire
2,
possession?
why when you're up 2, are you dribbling an entire possession and then taking like an almost logo 3 to brick? When Kyrie is making
it's a choice.
everything.
Feed the hot
that's
hand.
why I don't want him on my team. Like, I just think
you and I talked about this. I think that he wouldn't fit well on the Nuggets. When you have the most selfless player and a very selfish player on the same team, it's not going to mesh well. Like I said, it's really fun for like the All-Star game. And I'm like normally a really big fan of Luka's offense because as much of a ball hog as he is, he's also, when he's not hogging the ball, he is a fantastic passer. He's one of those guys that, like, when he's in the mood, he can be a great rebounder too. Like, when he's in the mood to put in that effort, some days he is a really big whiner. And I always say that Jokic kind of grew out of this. When Jokic realized that he wasn't going to be getting calls and stuff like that.
Just shut up.
He went from complaining a lot to the refs to really only complaining when it's like the most blatant fouls
egregious
that he's not. Yes, exactly. Like, he just kind of like, Luka's still at that stage where like everything he thinks is a foul, everyone else is going to be back on defense and he's going to be sitting there complaining to the refs and still whining, which impacts the game for your entire team. Because now they're playing 4-on-5 because you're complaining about a foul that they can't go back and call 10 seconds later anyway. It doesn't matter.
It's over, honey.
Yeah.
Move
on. I
on.
feel like that's something that, like, as you mature as like a basketball player, that's kind of something that a lot of people for the most part grow out of. Unless you're like a Joel Embiid, who still whines and foul grifts to get those calls.
Does he play?
But not that I've seen. Not that I've seen.
I haven't seen anything from that guy. I thought you were tired.
I really, like I said, I really do like Luka. I hope he maybe, I don't know, plays a little bit of a different role this season because he can be so good for his team. He always reminds me of he really reminds me of like a point guard mini Jokic. Like, in the way that, like, he can get triple doubles pretty much whenever he wants. He can be a fantastic facilitator. It is a matter of if he does it and if he executes. But he is a selfish basketball player, and there are a lot of times that he would prefer to just do it himself because he doesn't trust his team.
Yeah. Don't let that. That's why I've always been the person that's like, I don't want Luke on my team. So sorry. Y'all can keep him. Thank you. I don't think it would work well. I
agree. It
also
wouldn't fit.
I didn't even realize that Klay Thompson was there last night.
No, he had a quiet night. Silent night, holy night.
Ooh.
All is calm.
Are you gonna do the whole song?
All is bright. Anyway, Klay
the lights
Thompson's
were
coming
too
back. Yes, Klay Thompson's coming back to Chase Center tomorrow for his return to Chase Center against the Warriors. And I fear it's either going to go one of two ways. He's either going to have a 40-point triple-double or something insane, or he's going to go 0 for 10, and the Warriors are going to absolutely annihilate him. I fear it might be the second one. I don't want to jinx anything because I'm the queen of jinxing shit. But it's going to go one of two ways, and that's probably how it's going to go. I don't know if you heard this, but so we always call him Captain Klay because he used to drive his boat to practice and everything like that. And they're doing they're all like their gift to all of
the captain hat.
Yes, I was telling the class if they didn't know, but Captain Klay, he loves his boats. If you don't know him or know much about him, he loves his boats, and he used to drive his boat to practice every day and or ride his bike. He's insane, or both. I think he would literally like drive his boat to the pier and then ride his bike into the stadium. He's insane. But we always called him Captain Klay, and they're doing cute little Warriors captain hats, like to whatever it's called, like honor him. And did you see his post-game interview?
No.
I'm so bitter. So like Steph Curry, when talking about it, and Draymond, when talking about it, about like Klay returning, they're like emotional about it. They're like, don't even get me started. I'm going to cry. Like, I can't wait to see him. It's going to be great. Like, we really miss him, but it's going to be really fun to play against him for the first time. Klay was like, yeah, it'll be great to see guys that I played with, but it's just another November game. That's literally how he talked about it. And I was like, Klay Thompson, I love you. I hate that attitude. These are guys you played with for 13 years, a coach you had for 10 years, and a guys that you won 4 rings with and went to the finals 6 times with. It's just another November game. Klay. Ew. Okay. And so I was saying that I hope that the Warriors have like such an incredible tribute video that makes them look like feel like shit for
Why
just
did he
it's
say
just
that?
another November game. I don't know, but it was so icky. I was like, I know that you just lost like a tough game. Like I know that you like obviously you just lost a very well fought game and you had a bad game. But like these guys are literally like your best friends, your brothers, guys that you know, it's just another November game. Are you like there are literally
Ew.
like tickets, like the lowest ticket for this game is like $350. Like there are thousands of people,
Yeah, coming to see this.
thousands of Warriors fans that are coming to see you, that are coming to watch you come back. Your team, like your old team, is so excited to play you and to see you and to play against you and like to honor you. And it's just another November game. Okay, Klay. Okay, Klay.
I wonder if it is though, because he's like worried that everyone's putting all this pressure on him and he's worried he's going to have a bad game. That's probably exactly
Yes,
what it is.
I was gonna say is what I feel like is that he's like trying to like push the
Play it
emotional
down.
side of it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, play it down a lot so that he doesn't like stress himself out over like the importance of this game and make
Yeah.
himself play like shit. So yeah, either way, annoying. But since we've been talking to you guys for 6 hours now, the last game that we want to talk about is just Suns Kings, because first of all, it was another fantastic game. Suns and Kings went into overtime, and Spence and I wanted to talk about it because it is kind of proving what we've been saying about the Suns. Because first of all, the Suns are an amazing team, and Kevin Durant is obviously hurt and he is out. He has a calf strain, so that is obviously impacting them. But the Suns were able to play a fantastic 48 minutes, I should say, before overtime. They played a fantastic 48 minutes. A well-fought game against the Kings team that every single one of the starting 5 for the Kings was playing amazing. I'm just going to go over the stats for the Kings because shout out to them. I think they're really starting. I think they're 7-3 or something like that, and they're like a quiet winning team right now. Like I said, I literally was writing notes about them. I was like, this is like the first time I've really seen the Kings like compete and fight and like actually play like the basketball that I kind of expected from them.
I love DeMar DeRozan. He's one of my
Me too.
favorite players to watch. And I just had to say that. I wasn't sure how he was going to fit into the Kings just because I felt like they, had a lot of people. And then I feel like De'Aaron Fox gets really underrated. He's a Kentucky guy. And I feel bad. Like, I just feel like he deserves more because like the Kings, they're always just like, they have so many good pieces. It's so weird. I just can't figure out why they can never like execute in the playoffs almost. Like,
So
even
for me,
with all their pieces.
For me, this was my thought is that 2 years ago, the Kings made it to the playoffs for the first time in decades. And it was Mike Brown's first year coaching. He won Coach of the Year. And so I think at the time, Keegan Murray was still a rookie. Domantas Sabonis was like decently new. And, De'Aaron Fox was still really young. And like, it was just kind of like a young team with a brand new coach. And they made it to the playoffs and they made it to the first round. And that was like the first time. And everyone is so freaking stoked about it. But it's like OKC, like OKC, incredible team, got swept in the first round last year. it was kind of like that vibes, like just not enough championship experience with these guys to be able to do it. Obviously, with Mike Brown, you kind of expect that they would have championship experience, but if only your coach has it, it's still not going to really help bring you through a really, really, really hard series, especially when it was against the Golden State Warriors. And last year, I think that the competition was too tough. I think that they would have been like a 6 seed in the East, but they were the 9
They
seed.
probably would have been like a 5th seed in the East.
Yeah, but they were a 9 seed instead. They beat the Warriors in the play-in game, in the first play-in game, and then went to lose in the second play-in game. And so I feel like if they can, they need to take advantage of the fact that there are some teams slowing down in the West, like the Clippers and the Pelicans and things like that. Like, this is kind of your time to like slide in there and be good and be good at it. But I feel like they really played like their first like whole game where they fought the whole game, and it was really good to watch. I'm going to just read their stats just because they really all did great. De'Aaron Fox had 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists, so almost a triple-double. He was a +9. Kevin Huerter, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block. DeMar DeRozan, 34 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. He was 56% shooting. Domantas Sabonis, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, +11. I expect more defense from him and a lot more rim protection. I have not seen a lot of defense from Domantas Sabonis this year, so I'd like to see a little bit more of that. And then Keegan Murray with a double-double too, 14 points, 14 rebounds, 1 assist.
I love Keegan Murray.
So,
I love him.
I do too. Like I said, he's bulked up a bit too, so I love seeing him be a little bit stronger. I feel like that's going to make him an even better
more physical.
defender. Yes, exactly. But either way, did you watch any of this game, or like did you get to see it live?
I didn't get to watch it live, but I watched the highlights and
Okay,
and
yeah,
some of the major plays, the important stuff.
yeah. Yep, I feel like it was an important game for the Suns because the Suns are obviously doing really, really well this year, and that's not like out of the ordinary. We knew that they were going to be really good. They have a fantastic.
We knew they were going to
team,
have a ton of offensive
and yes,
weapons.
I'm gonna knock on wood, but KD has been the only injury, and thankfully it is just a calf strain. Hopefully it doesn't become anything more serious, and he can come back and be healthy. Because, like we said, we prefer healthy teams, but. This was a great game for the Suns to be able, without KD, because KD has been putting up MVP numbers too. I'm actually kind of disgusted that he wasn't even the top 10. Like, if you're having Donovan Mitchell on here, KD needs to be above Donovan Mitchell. KD should have been
100%.
5 instead of Donovan Mitchell. It's crazy. But either way, so I hate that he's injured. So without their current best player, the rest of the Suns had to step up, and they played a fantastic game against the Kings team that was playing incredible. And Devin Booker made a free throw to put them into overtime. Like, literally, it was 111 to 110, and he like missed the first free throw and then made a second free throw. So it was 111, and they went into overtime. Suns got cooked in overtime. The Suns in those 5 minutes lost by 9. And that like the final score was Kings winning by 9. So
the Kings made the Suns their son.
yes, yes, they did. Yeah, it was just it's one of those things that Spencer and I have been talking about, because this game was a perfect example of everything that we say about the Suns. Because again, Suns are amazing. They're a fantastic team. They're going to be incredible regular season, put up big numbers, shoot the lights out. That's how they are. But they are not a very deep team, so they're going to get exhausted really quickly, and they have a center problem. The Nurkic and Plumlee issue is that they literally keep getting benched for each other. Plumlee has a great game, Nurkic gets benched. Nurkic has a great game, Plumlee gets benched. Okay, literally last game, Nurkic put up monster numbers. And I was like, oh, is this consistent, or is this just one game?
That's what I said.
It was just one game.
It was just one game.
It was just one game. Nurkic played 15 minutes and was benched the entire second half because he played so poorly. His only stat was he had 7 rebounds in the first half. He didn't score a single point. didn't have a single assist, didn't play like any defense really. He was grabbing rebounds. He was just kind of there in the way, under the basket, clogging the paint.
Just in the way.
Yes. And so Mason Plumlee came out and he had a great game. Mason Plumlee played really, really well in his place. But again, you're benching these guys back and forth. You're literally just like, Nurkic sucks tonight. All right, put Plumlee in, see if he'll be better. They need to have a consistent center. And that doesn't mean you have to get rid of both Plumlee and Nurkic. I think that either one of them would be a good backup big. But I think I really think that they should go for like Jonas Valanciunas and try to get like a consistent starting big.
If they had like even like a decent big, they would be very scary, but they don't. So
Exactly.
But I don't even know
my issue.
I don't even know if they could afford anyone though because of how much money they're paying KD, Booker, and Beal.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is like, so Nurkic I think has like a decent contract and Plumlee has like a decent contract. So either one of them you could really get rid of for someone like Jonas Valanciunas who has a pretty
who wants
comparable.
them?
The Wizards I'm sure would take him.
Would take Nurkic?
Maybe not Nurkic. I think that Nurkic could be a backup and they would take Mason Plumlee. But I don't like Nurkic. I wouldn't want him on the team. Either way, I don't know what I would do. I will say every single time, I am not an NBA GM. I am not a genius. I just have sometimes ideas for fun. Okay? But I have no idea what's happening. Anyway, like I said, their center issue is an issue and their depth is an issue. They played a fantastic game through 48 minutes and they did not have enough gas to come out and beat the Kings. And the Kings are not super deep either. I would say that they're like maybe one player deeper than the Suns. But the Suns were out KD. And so like they're even one player less deep because it's not like Budenholzer went out and was able to really play anyone else in his place. And so you're just like, you're tired, you're gassed. You have 5 minutes of overtime against a team that's really conditioned and really in shape. And
it begs the question, like, can they win without KD?
No. Not, I mean, like maybe against easier teams, but I don't think that
they're not competitive without KD.
They don't have the bandwidth to win a bunch of games without him.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
They need him back ASAP. He's already out 2 weeks. So that's my thought on that game. I think, like I said, I think that the three big West games were between 6 of likely the top 8 teams in the league.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to see a lot from them.
Yeah, tonight the Clippers and the Thunder play, and Kings have a back-to-back, I guess. And Thunder, yeah. So Kings and Spurs play. There's not too much any crazy games tonight. We're about to laugh at all of the predictions that were so silly.
Hey, I'm not laughing at my top 3.
I'm laughing at mine.
I'm laughing at the fact that I have Suns at 8, but
I can't believe I have the Wolves at 2. You know what? I'm changing this. The Nuggets are at 1. We're winning the championship and fuck everybody else. What do I think is the silliest about mine? I do think the Suns are going to end up higher. I fully believe the Wolves are going to be lower.
Get the Pelicans out of my top 8.
Yeah, I'm bringing
my opinion.
I'm bringing Suns and Warriors up. I'm putting Spurs down. I don't mind my bottom. I don't mind my bottom 10 through 15 for the not in that exact order, but like I think those
totally.
I think there's a separation with the top of the West, I would say.
Yeah.
Grizzlies have been playing well.
They have.
Yeah, my Knicks pick on the East, my Cavs pick was silly. The Bucks is so silly. This was a silly thing to do for us. I don't know why I did this.
My Bucks, and you know what? I still think that the Knicks will probably be top 4, and that's just because of how bad the East is.
Agreed.
I think that they're a group of guys that's too good to stay this bad. They'll have to win some games, especially when you get to play 4 games against every East team. their record will be better. So I'm still high-ish on the Knicks, at least in the East. I don't think that they can beat anyone in the West, really, at this point. Bucks are just looking horrible. 76ers, you can go ahead and throw them on number 15. I think LaMelo Ball and the Hornets will will go ahead and slice them right out in a 7-game series. Just kidding. I'm just being a hater. But I just think that the East is bad.
Can we talk about how there is one resounding correct opinion and correct via the record? It is that the Jazz suck. And they suck really bad.
They do. They really do.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy about that one. That's the one thing I'm happy about. Okay, are we going to do Magic 8 Ball?
Yeah, let's do some Magic 8 Ball takes.
Yay!
Now is the time where we are going to take our trusty 8 ball and ask it all of your burning NBA questions, and we will see what the 8 ball says about them. I have several of them, actually. You guys did awesome and asked me so many questions, so these will probably have to be spread out over the next several episodes, the next couple of episodes, but I love them, and I'm hype about it. So I'm going to start off with this one because I think that I underestimated the regular team Suns, or the regular season Suns. And so I like this question. Will the Suns end a top 4 team in the West? And I think that they could. Will the Suns end as a top 4 team in the West?
What do you think? I would say top 4 or 5 maybe is as through the 10 or 11 games.
Okay. As I see it, yes.
From what
Top
I'm saying
14,
right now,
okay.
from the regular season, yes. But I want to see them play I want to see, their Nurkic-Plumlee issue against Nikola Jokic just for my own enjoyment and amusement.
I have to ask these next 2 questions for us, for the agenda. Will the Sixers miss the playoffs this year?
Yes. I think that's possible.
Signs point to yes. Okay. And then there's a second part to this question. Will Joel Embiid ever get past the second round in the playoffs? Very doubtful.
Period.
The agenda is agendaing.
Losers.
Okay. Oh, there's so many good ones. Oh, you guys asked so many good questions. These are good. Okay. Do you want to do an East one or a West one?
Do a West one. We just did East with the 76ers.
Perfect. Then I'm going to finish with 2 West questions. They're right next to each other. Our good friend Jason on Twitter asked both of these ones. And he's a Spurs fan, so shout out Spurs. But will the Spurs make the play-in this year? I think that's an interesting question. I could see them being like 10.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll make it past the play-in.
No, but to the play-in. Okay. Concentrate and ask again. All right. Will the Spurs?
I mean, because I'm just thinking,
play-in?
the Nuggets are still so good, and then the Suns are playing so well, and the Warriors are playing so well, and the OKC
outlook good.
Okay.
For the play-in, like I said, 10 is the play-in, and my Blazers are definitely not going to be 10.
Your
like
Blazers?
I predicted. I'm saying that
Your
my
prediction.
prediction was that the Blazers would be 10.
Fair.
Okay, so this says outlook good, Jason.
All right,
says
Jason.
outlook good. I have this for you. And then his next question, will Jokic win his 4th MVP?
Yes.
Give me a yes. It's like on its corner. My reply is no. That was painful. I didn't like that answer.
Boo. Tomato.
Boo, Magic 8 Ball. Tomato.
If he keeps playing like this, they're literally I think there would be an uproar. I honestly would.
I agree.
I don't know what would happen, but you'd have to cancel the league forever because then they're just a bunch of liars.
I agree. But
that
was fun.
You know what's crazy is that is we had like 2 bad games to start the season, and the Lakers said they didn't have to worry about us anymore. I think they should worry about themselves, TBH. Just being real here.
What? The best part was that Anthony Davis, he didn't have a bad game. He just had a lackluster game compared to how he started the season yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I just love it for the agenda because he was number 1 on the MVP list. And
Didn't he go out?
He did for a game.
No, but didn't he go out in the during the game yesterday?
Oh,
Did he come back in? He went
He
out,
might have.
but I didn't know
okay.
if he came back in. Someone let us know. I don't know. I don't know if he came back into the game. I think he's fine, but I think he just had
good.
to go. I think I forgot what happened.
Sometimes you just got to protect yourself. I feel like I think they were crushing the Raptors, if I remember. Yes, either way, thanks for chatting with us. Sorry, we've been here for 3 hours. I have to go back to my 9 to 5 and fit the next 3 hours of work into the next 2 hours. Or my last 3 hours of work plus my next 2 hours into the next 2 hours because I just wanted to talk basketball with you guys. So
We just love. We're just 2 gals who love to talk ball. Okay.
that's all we love to do. But thanks for hanging out with us. We're so happy to be here and we're so happy you're here.
We're so happy you're here. And if you're a Philly fan or a Lakers fan here, I applaud you because they don't seem to like us. I wonder why. So if you sit here and
I've
listen to
said
us,
nice things.
I haven't.
I'm
just
trying
saying
so hard.
I'm just saying they've got thick skin if they sit here and listen to us.
I agree. And we appreciate you. if
And
you
we
are.
love that for you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We love when you do all those things. And we love when you share with your friends. And we have all of our socials below so you can talk to us and our merch. And then Caitlin and I will be together on Wednesday
Lots of fun
for
stuff.
for forever. Just kidding. But for a little bit.
Forever.
For the first time in forever.
So someone commented on one
There'll
of
be
our
magic. There'll be fun. What?
thank you, Elsa. Well, I guess that was Anna. But either way, you just look like Elsa because you got the blonde hair. But someone commented on one of our shorts and said that we should do a recipe video instead of talk basketball. And so maybe for our Patreon, we can do a recipe video while we talk basketball.
Oh my God, cute. Maybe we can bake a cake or something.
We should. Okay.
We can bake something.
Literally. Yes. Either way, I got to go back to work. I love you guys so much. Follow us, like, comment, subscribe, love us, hate us, whatever.
We love you. If you're
Be
new here,
nice.
welcome. And if you're not new here, welcome back because we didn't introduce ourselves. I'm Spencer and that's
I'm
Caitlin.
Caitlin.
I hope you gathered that at some point. I said her name at some point during this episode. Sure.
I'm sure I did too.
Okay. We love you.
Okay.
We'll
Love
see you soon.
Bye.